Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning. Allow me to add few words of welcome to all present in our gathering today, and particularly to the participants in this event, which promises to be one of the most important technological events in Bahrain this year. Last week, and coinciding with the theme of this forum, we were delighted to receive a sizable Japanese business delegation for the purpose of exchanging information, experiences, and identifying business opportunities in the field of renewable energy. We had very fruitful discussions with the delegation, and we look forward to the follow-up of the important decisions and issues which were identified during the said discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a perfect time for a conference of this nature to be held in this part of the world when the regional renewable energy industry is witnessing an exciting expansion period. One of the biggest challenges facing Bahrain and the GCC region is the adequate supply of energy that will ensure the sustainable development and continuous economic growth in the region. This challenge is occurring in a world that is suffering the consequences of climate change and global warming. Hardly one day passes when one does not encounter in the media or personally the consequences of the unabated use of fossil fuels since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Alternative energy sources seem to be the only viable solution that will lessen our society's dependence on fossil fuels through production of electricity from the available and viable clean energy sources. The long-term strategy adopted by Bahrain in line with the Vision 2030 emphasizes on providing incentives for reducing and managing Bahrain's energy demand and investing in clean, green energy technology and promoting building to ensure sustainability and ensuring better energy and water demand management. According to some statistics recently released by APICorp, the investment arm of the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries, OAPEC, the MENA, that's the Middle East, North Africa region, energy capital investment for the period 2013-2017 will reach a staggering $740 billion US. Of this figure, fully one-third, or $250 billion US will be dedicated to the power generation and transmission sector. The expected growth in power demand in the MENA region is expected to grow by 7%, resulting in the addition of 124 gigawatt capacity over present-day levels. The GCC countries, which were spared, relatively speaking, from the unrest that gripped the region over the past 2 years since the events of the so-called Arab Spring, shows the biggest growth, representing 43% of the investment of the entire MENA region. It must be noted that these investments include all forms of generation, inclusive of fossil plants, nuclear, as well as renewable sources. Focusing briefly on renewables, the following salient statistics recently released by Frankfurt School UNEP Collaborating Center study indicates that 1. Global investment in renewables increased by a remarkable 17% in 2011, reaching $257 billion US. To further emphasize the pace of growth in this sector, one has to realize that this figure represents investments that were 6 times higher than in 2004, and double the investment in 2007, just prior to the financial and economic crisis. 35% of this investment occurred in developing economies. However, the report also indicates that MENA region lagged behind other developing economies, mainly as a result of the uncertainties posed by the socio-political turmoil that gripped the world. 3, the lion's share investment was in the solar and wind technologies, which combined accounted for 90% of the investment. Solar investment surged by a staggering 52%. This trend is reflective of the geographical advantages with a considerable period of sunshine which the developing nations enjoy. It is also reflective of the dropping cost of the technologies, which saw the cost of solar panels drop by 50% during last year. And as I speak, the cost is coming down. Ladies and gentlemen, admittedly, Bahrain is a small country in both the regional and world scene, but our size does not deter us from pursuing the path of our larger sisters in the GCC. I will mention here some of the ongoing initiatives that are taking place in this arena in the Kingdom of Bahrain. 1, this year our kingdom celebrated the 80th anniversary of the first oil discovery in the resource-rich Arabian Gulf region in 1932. So we are celebrating 80 years. Until today, Bahrain's government revenues remain highly dependent on oil and natural gas, some 88% in 2011. But the country is also helping to pioneer the way toward a renewable energy future. The Vision 2030 that we highlighted earlier aspires to stimulate the economy and create new business opportunities and job opportunities for the citizens, and coincides with the leadership aspiration for sustainable and strong economy, and is based on 3 pillars, namely, 1, the diversification of energy mix for better security of supply, 2, the reduction in the dependence on fossil fuels, and 3, environmental consideration for lowering CO2 emissions. Bahrain was one of the first to install its utility-scale wind turbines on a new commercial development, the Bahrain World Trade Center, the iconic building dominating the skyline in the financial district of Panama, supports 329-meter diameter wind turbines capable to produce sufficient power to meet 15% of the needs of the 250-story office towers, or an estimated 1,100 to 1,300 megawatt hours of clean electricity each year. 2, the Electricity and Water Authority, EWA, launched a project with the German consultancy firm Fitchner to study the construction of a combined 5-megawatt solar and wind plant to be located offshore Bahrain. Various design and physical aspects of the projects have been studied in depth, and steps will soon be taken within a couple of months to tender out the full requirement of the plant. 3, the National Oil and Gas Authority, NOGA, in conjunction with BAPCO, have signed an agreement with Petrosolar of the United States for the installation of a 5-megawatt pilot plant to be installed primarily in Awali to produce electricity by solar energy. 4, an initiative is underway jointly with the United Nations Development Program and a number of primary stakeholders to establish a unit for sustainable energy, addressing important issues of energy conservation and renewable energy in Bahrain. This issue is being actively undertaken at the moment to establish the physical and legal structures that will allow the unit to function efficiently and embark and undertake its responsibilities immediately. These projects, although modest in nature, are just the first steps on our road to large-scale implementation of renewable activities. I am confident that at future forums of this nature, Bahrain will be able to report substantive progress in this arena. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this forum will help us in Bahrain to develop a roadmap that will take us from the present to a future that will foster a greater reliance on renewable energy. One of the highlights of the forum is its dedicated workshops that amalgamate the ideas and models to make realistic recommendations towards promoting the use of renewable energy as a strategic energy source for Bahrain. Finally, I would like to express my thanks and appreciation to Dr. Muhamad Abdul Ghaffar and the organizers, speakers, moderators, and delegates, wishing them all and all of you the best during the coming few days. Thank you for your kind attention.